Have you ever thought about learning Chinese, but then you kind of stopped because it just seemed huge? Like, where do you even begin? Well, today we're going to answer that. We're going to look at the very first official step, the HSK1 exam. We are going to unpack what it really takes to get started. And to do that, we're going right to the source. This is the official HSK Standard Course 1 textbook. Just think of this as our map for today. We're going to use it to explore everything from the basic characters and grammar all the way to the actual conversations you'll be able to have. So if you've been curious but maybe a little intimidated, you are in exactly the right place. Let's crack this thing open and see what that first step really looks like, piece by piece. All right, first up, let's just break down HSK1 by the numbers. You know, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the language, it helps to see the core requirements. It gives us a solid idea of what this journey actually involves. Okay, this right here, this is the most important number for HSK1, 150. That is it. That's the total number of words you need to know to pass this level. It's not thousands, it's 150. That is a concrete and, let's be honest, a very, very manageable goal. And the textbook itself tells us how long that should take. If you look right in the preface, it estimates about 30 to 36 class hours to master those 150 words. For a lot of people, that's maybe a month or so of dedicated study. The whole system is really designed to be an accessible, confidence-building first step. Okay, so we know the what, 150 words. Now let's get into the how. We're diving into the actual building blocks of the language, the essential characters, and the core grammar points that you're going to learn at this level. You know, a common myth is that learning Chinese means memorizing thousands of complicated pictures. But it really doesn't start that way at all. It starts with the absolute basics, a small set of fundamental strokes. Think of these as your alphabet or your Lego bricks. Everything else is built from these. And almost immediately, those simple strokes combine to form really logical characters. I mean, look at this. You have a horizontal line, that's the ground, a short stroke above it, that creates sheng, the character for up. A short stroke below it makes xia, for down. It's actually beautifully intuitive.
So, you're learning characters, which is cool, but what can you actually do with them? Well, one of the very first things HSK1 teaches is how to ask simple, essential questions, and this is so crucial for starting any conversation.
For instance, the book introduces you to the question particle ne. This one little word is a massive shortcut. You can say something like 我是美国人, I am American, and then just tack on ne to instantly ask, and you. It's such a simple but powerful tool for turning a statement into a real conversation. Okay, so beyond that simple back and forth, another core skill you pick up is asking how. How do you ask about the way something's done, or check on how something is? So the course introduces the word zenmei, which means how, and it does it using this super simple, structured table. Now, this isn't just some rule you have to memorize, it's more like a blueprint. It shows you exactly where zenmei goes in a sentence to ask really important questions, like, how do you like this character? And the best part is, you don't just learn this rule in a vacuum. The book makes you use it right away. 1 minute, you're learning the grammar for how, and the very next, you're in a practice exercise asking a partner about the weather in Beijing. It's this constant loop. Theory straight into practice. And that brings us to what I think is the most important part of this whole tour. We've seen the numbers, we've seen the building blocks. Now let's see how HSK1 actually combines them to create real, meaningful communication. Here is that learning loop in action again. It's so clear. On the left page, the book shows you a key sentence structure, how to say you're going somewhere to do something. Then, bam, on the right page, you're prompted to use that exact structure in a conversation, asking your partner about their plans. Learn it, use it. And we're not talking about abstract, useless sentences here. The dialogues are all built around genuinely practical questions. 你们班有多少个学生? How many students are in your class? I mean, this is day one get-to-know-you stuff you would actually use in a classroom. The entire course is just pushing you into these kinds of communicative activities. This group exercise, for example, it gets students to find out what their classmates can do, when they started learning, where they study. The goal is always crystal clear. Get the vocabulary and grammar out of your head and get you speaking from day one. So after going through all of this, what have you actually gained? What can you do? It's probably best to think of HSK1 not just as a test, but as your first practical toolkit for communicating in Chinese. So, What's in that toolkit when you finish HSK1? Well, you'll be able to introduce yourself and other people. You can ask and answer simple questions about who, what, and where. You'll be able to handle talking about dates and time, even discussing numbers and prices. Plus, you can make basic plans with people and talk about what you can and can't do. These aren't just exam topics, they are real, functional skills. You know, it's a famous saying for a reason. Learning a language like Chinese can definitely feel like a journey of 1,000 miles. But HSK1 is designed very intentionally to be that clear, achievable, and honestly empowering first step. So, there you have it. We've unpacked the book, we've seen exactly what that first step involves. The only real question left is the one on your screen. Thanks for joining me.